Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
A collision between a semi and motorcycle.
Plus your weekly 1-minute news roundup, all on Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Jackson Atwell.
And I'm Mackenzie Noble. Our top story tonight, a fire at one of UNL's dining halls left students and staff waiting outside till Lincoln Fire and Rescue crews found the cause of the accident. Late Tuesday afternoon, Lincoln Fire and Rescue crews were dispatched to a fire at the Harper Schramm Smith Dining Center. After a staff member noticed smoke coming from the hallways between the dining and residence halls, they pulled the fire alarm, having nearly 450 students and staff evacuating the building. The all clear for students to return to their rooms came around 7:30 that evening once the smoke had cleared the building. No living spaces were affected by the fire. The fire was electrical, but the specific cause of the fire is still unknown at this time. Harper Dining reopened Wednesday morning for regular service.
Lots of things are happening here in Nebraska. Let's take a look back at last week with Nebraska Nightly's 1-minute news roundup.
4 people are left injured after a car crash on the corner of 27th and Vine. According to the Lincoln Journal-Star, Justin Ifield was caught speeding after running a red light in North Lincoln. After evading police for several blocks, Ifield hit a Nissan car before running into a traffic light, a fire hydrant, and Kohl's Pharmacy. The 3 occupants in Ifield's car and the Nissan driver, Elizabeth Anderson, were all severely injured. For the second year in a row, a product from Lincoln is vying to become the coolest thing made in Nebraska. The Lincoln Journal-Star says that the Ignis firefighting system, made by Drone Amplified, is one of 2 finalists left in the competition. You can vote for the competition on NE Manufacturing Alliance's website. Ever wonder what the future will hold? UNL considers this topic with the start of the next Thompson Business Forum. Monday night was the first event for the forum during the academic year, with 3 more to follow. Parag Kahan, a specialist in geopolitics and globalization, led off as the first speaker. Kahan discussed topics on global migration and the latest research on how countries can stay relevant with the advancement of technology and climate change. The forum will continue its second event on November 14th. And that is this week's 1-minute roundup.
A motorcyclist is injured after crashing into a semi Wednesday morning in southeast Lincoln. The crash happened around 9 a.m. at the intersection of 58th Street and Old Cheney Road. Officers at the scene said the motorcycle was heading east when it struck the back of the semi turning onto 58th Street. The motorcyclist was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. A part of westbound Old Cheney Road was closed temporarily due to the accident.
Beautiful weather in Lincoln this week.
So far, so good. So let's have a look into our forecast with meteorologist Dominic Ferraro. Dominic?
Well, tomorrow is game day in Lincoln, Nebraska, and looking ahead to your forecast for that, looking at to be 81 degrees, mostly cloudy skies with a stray shower or 2 around kickoff tomorrow. Weather has been a huge talking point in the media this week surrounding the game. But right now, we're looking pretty good. 8 a.m., cloudy skies, 67, excuse me. Well, we get out to those tailgates around 11 a.m., 75 degrees, and we'll sit in the low 80s throughout the remainder of the game. I'll have your current conditions here for Lincoln and your week ahead after the break. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Dominic. Coming up after the break, a look into the UAW strike.
Issues with Medicaid.
Plus, a look into UNL's radio station, all after the break.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
Some rain came through Capital City last night.
Yes, and with fall coming right up this weekend, I'm wondering if cooler weather is on its way.
Well, meteorologist Dominic Ferraro has our 7-day outlook. Dominic?
Well, it's been a little wet lately here in the capital city, but your current conditions in the Lincoln area: overcast skies, 70 degrees, and winds out of the southeast at 10 miles an hour, gusting up to 15. Looking ahead to tonight, chance of thunderstorms and rain into the overnight hours, looking about early morning, maybe 2-3 a.m. 66 degrees for your low, winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking ahead to tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, chance of a rain shower or thunderstorm possible there too. High of 82 degrees, winds out of the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 20. Looking ahead to tomorrow, this is running from about 7 a.m. tomorrow to 6 p.m. As you see, we got a line of thunderstorms and rain moving its way across the central part of the state before dissipating right before it gets to the Lincoln area, so hopefully keeping us nice and dry. Your current surface analysis: we got a stationary front sitting across the central part of the state. However, that'll get moving tomorrow, moving to the north, and we'll get a nice cold front working its way through and some high pressure behind that. Which brings us to our week ahead. Tomorrow, 82 degrees, and then we will start to get a little more sunny. However, we're going to cool off just a little bit into the low 80s, starting your week off on Monday with a chance of showers possible. However, moving into the middle part of the week, Tuesday, 80 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Then we'll get a little breezy Wednesday and Thursday. Temperature sticking around 80 before bumping up to 86 on Friday, partly cloudy skies. Back to you guys at the desk.
Workers across the country and across industries have been organizing and in many cases striking in order to secure higher pay, improved benefits, and better working conditions. Gloria Pazmino has the latest on the major strikes targeting the big three automakers and the Hollywood studios, as well as what's driving workers to the picket lines.
Some progress in negotiations between auto workers and at least one of the big three.
Ford is showing that they're serious about reaching a deal.
But the ongoing dispute between the UAW and the two other major automakers, GM and Stellantis, deepening significantly on Friday.
We will shut down parts distribution until those two companies come to their senses and come to the table with a serious offer.
The strike expansion is aimed at hurting dealerships, with the hope dealership owners will ratchet up the pressure on the car makers. This comes as Hollywood writers and studios ended marathon negotiations Thursday without an agreement, as the writers' work stoppage now exceeds 20 weeks.
I'm just really hopeful because it seems like all parties are really ready to just get it done.
But these strikes aren't happening in a vacuum. From actors to delivery drivers, nurses to baristas, workers are encouraged by a tight labor market and strong economy.
I think it's all over the labor market. We're seeing stirrings of this kind.
Labor expert Ruth Milkman says a generational shift, coupled with decades of stagnant wages amid soaring corporate profits and CEO pay, is fueling concerted efforts to organize.
A lot of workers are more conscious than they were before of the injustice that they face at work and of the inequalities that exist in the society that we're living in.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pazmino.
In a statement today, Ford said it's working diligently with the UAW, and while there is progress in some areas, there are still some significant gaps to close.
500,000 children and families have their Medicaid coverage back after many states improperly terminated their enrollment. Last month, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services told every state and territory to check their systems and make sure that they were evaluating each member of the household individually. At issue is the state's use of existing data to automatically determine the eligibility of certain Medicaid recipients. The move comes as they review all their enrollees' qualifications after a 3-year COVID-19 pandemic pause. Some states were considering entire families as a whole without taking into account that the household income thresholds for children are much higher. Over more than a dozen states and the District of Columbia reported the issue. The agency announced Thursday the benefits are now reinstated. Our newscast here at Nebraska Nightly is a part of the Student Experience Lab here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. There are several components to the Experience Lab, and for the next several shows, we are going to feature each and every one of them. Today, we're starting off with KRNU. The college's radio station, and Priscilla Castaneda is at KRNU right now. Priscilla, what can you tell us?
I am here live at KRNU in College of Journalism. KRNU has been involved for 51 years, and it's been at the Experience Lab added to Experience Lab for 2 years ago. And I'm here with Helen Howard, who is the music director and the co-lead for KRNU. So Helen, tell me more about your role at KRNU.
So one of my roles at KRNU is being the music director, and in that role, I'm essentially listening to a lot of music each week. I communicate regularly with small indie labels and lots of radio promotion companies, and basically add music to the master playlist and server at the station. And then as a co-lead, I work with my co-lead Alex Neal, and we basically help typically underclassmen, but students in the journalism college, we help them produce podcasts, radio shows, doing DJ shifts, things like that. So just giving them a lot of like firsthand experience, even if they haven't gotten to, go out in the real world and have internships and things like that. So we've produced a lot of cool shows in the past, like I know we have a polka hour this semester and a late night talk show. So lots of different stuff, lots of variety, but it's always a treat to see what kids do.
So how long have you been working here at KRNU?
So I actually got involved the spring semester of my junior year. I transferred to UNL a couple years back. And so I was just in the Experience Lab in the KRNU program, and I did a radio show and a blog, so that was really fun. And then I applied to be a lead, and I've always been really passionate about music. Like, that's my big MO. I just want to do music stuff. So I applied for the music director position and the lead position, and so I started in the summer of 2022.
So if students joined KRNU, what experience would they gain?
So you would gain a lot of experience. I think that it's a lot of good experience, like talking on air, like public speaking, things like that. But it's also just a lot of cool experience, doing audio editing, listening to new music, and just kind of getting more comfortable with, yourself and your brand and figuring out what you want to kind of what parts of you you're going to use to sell yourself, things like that. So I found a lot of my passions doing it. I'm a journalism student, so I'm not even doing broadcasting necessarily, but I picked up a lot of skills. So, you don't have to be a broadcasting student to do KRNU. It kind of just helps. It helps you do a lot of different things, even if maybe, you weren't necessarily doing broadcasting. Like, I found that passion later in college. So I think it helps kids find themselves and gives them a lot of cool real-world experience.
All right. Thank you, Helen, for your time. Thank you. And there you have it. KRNU is one of many experience labs. I'm Priscilla Castaneda, reporting live for Nebraska Nightly. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Priscilla. Stay tuned for Tuesday when we feature Production House.
Coming up after the break, all things Husker sports.
And how the Huskers move ahead without key players.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
Don't let it happen to other Big Ten schools. Go to saveourdinos.org to learn more.
Welcome back. After a successful Husker football game last weekend, we have another home game taking place this weekend.
Nathan Hawkins has all the latest on Husker sports. Nathan, are we looking at another Husker win this weekend, I hope?
Well, the Huskers certainly hope that a win this week would be less costly than last week. In the Huskers' 35-21 win over Northern Illinois last Saturday, lead running backs Gabe Irvin Jr. and Ramir Johnson suffered season-ending injuries. Head coach Matt Rule said addressing the team following the news of the injury was emotional.
I think when I addressed the team about, specifically about Ramir, I think probably for the first time in my career I got probably a little emotional in front of the group. I just thought, I don't know if he'll ever play again. And it's like, you can't tolerate other people taking things for granted.
Here's a look at Huskers who have suffered season-ending injuries less than a month into the season. A tough break already for players. Freshman cornerback Dwight Boodle II had season-ending surgery on his shoulder yesterday, and wide receiver Isaiah Garcia Castaneda tore his ACL in the Week 1 matchup against Minnesota. The Huskers already having to employ that next man up mentality. Now we take a look at the players dealing with more minor injuries ahead of tomorrow's matchup with Louisiana Tech. All eyes are on Jeff Sims. The starting quarterback going into the season is dealing with an ankle injury. He missed last week, and Heinrich Harburg impressed while stepping into the starting role. Rule said Sims isn't 100%, but he has no problem playing both Harburg and Sims. Nothing like a quarterback battle in September. Freshman standout defensive lineman Cam Lenhart will be a game-time decision as he tends to a minor injury. And Rule said Blaze Gunnarsson is a full go for tomorrow. Nebraska softball held their second intra-squad scrimmage last night, and all eyes continue to be on Jordy Ball. The superstar transfer from Oklahoma took the mound for Team Cream. There she is donning number 98, but early on, freshman Emerson Cope making a name for herself, a 3-run homer off of Jordy Ball. Team Scarlet leads 3-0 in the first inning. We'll go to the second inning now. Jordy Ball getting back on track. Get used to this, a strikeout swing. She didn't allow another hit the rest of the way after the home run. Her day ended after 4 innings. Sixth inning now, Emerson Cope bounces it to second, and freshman Malia Toms with the diving grab slides into the base for the out. No one really loses in a scrimmage, but Team Scarlet takes this one 4-0.
Jordy's a competitor. Jordy's a pro out there. She has great command of not only her pitches, but also herself. I thought she came back out and was really, really good.
Makes you 10 times better, obviously, playing against the best of the best. She teaches you stuff. You really learn a lot of things that maybe not have learned before. And I know that us competing with her, against her, like when she's pitching, I'm hitting, I know I'm going to become a way better player.
Over at the Bob Devaney Center, Nebraska Volleyball is hoping to stay red hot as the Big Red start Big Ten competition tonight. The Huskers have moved all the way up to number 2 in the national rankings. Tonight they'll take on the 21st ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State. The Buckeyes are just 3-6, but they've had a notably tough slate of games so far. Nebraska still undefeated at this point in the season. They hope to hit double-digit wins tonight. With the team finding their stride early, Coach John Cook said he keeps his finger on the pulse of the community's thoughts on the team, but he does so in a unique place.
I just go to Hy-Vee on O Street, and I know how people feel about Nebraska volleyball just walking through that Hy-Vee and the checkout people, because they tell me everything. And it's, I almost feel like it's a therapy session going in there, for them and for me.
Well, I guess it just goes to show that this really might be a volleyball school.
You know, it really might be. There's no place like Nebraska when it comes to volleyball. John Cook has called it the mecca of volleyball, and he's not safe anywhere, not even Hy-Vee.
Yeah, that's true. The word is spreading literally everywhere, even to people checking you out at the grocery store. Man.
The love for volleyball runs deep in this state.
Yes.
That's for sure. Coming up after the break.
A look into the events happening this weekend in Capital City.
Plus, the excuse you have been looking for to get that sweet treat, all after the break.
Well, it's a big weekend in Lincoln, and with fall right around the corner, there are a couple events you don't want to be missing.
That's right. Madeline Fox is here with all the details. Madeline, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Jackson. UNL is hosting a mini golf night tonight. If you think you're terrific at mini golf, you can head over to the Adventure Golf Center course on South 56th Street. The Golf Center has two 18-hole courses with different levels of difficulty that will be open from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. The event is free to any student with the event pass. You can find more information at events.unl.edu. If you're not a mini golf fan, there are still plenty of events for you. The First Avenue Lounge and Social Hall will be hosting a comedy roast battle tonight starting at 7 p.m. The event includes 6 comedians that will go head-to-head in a battle of wits. The tickets are $5 on eventbrite.com. A blast from the past. The Blues Brothers are here to help you get down tonight. Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi are hitting the stage at the Lead Center at 7:30 p.m. sharp. So grab your friends, throw on your dancing shoes, and get ready to flip, flop, and fly. Word is the show is almost sold out. For those 21 and over, the Lincoln Oktoberfest will be open tomorrow from 5 to 11 p.m. It's free to everyone and will feature pretzels, schnitzels, and other German cuisine. They will have dance floors open and of course will feature both local and imported beer. For more information, visit pubcrawls.com.
Here's a good reason to squeeze another shift tree out of the summer. That's right, today is National Ice Cream Cone Day. NationalDayCalendar.com says ice cream cones were first mentioned in French cone books around 1825. They became popular in the U.S. in late 1800s and then debuted at the 1904 World Fair in St. Louis. From there, an inventor patented the machine to take ice cream cones in 1912. He sold the company to Nabisco in 1928, and they still make ice cream cones today. You can celebrate National Ice Cream Cone Day on social media with the hashtag #IceCreamConeDay. Well, that looks like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to have some ice cream today.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of ice cream, but the UNL dairy store over on East Campus, the coconut, will do it for me every time.
Yeah, that's right. They got so many great flavors over there. It's wild.
Yes, get it before the cold comes. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you again on Tuesday at 4:30. This has been Nebraska Nightly.